Well, Shadur, which quarterbacks are you talking about? Because there's some bad quarterback play out there, but the dude who can't beat Dylan Gabriel out for a job and can't beat Joe Flacco out for a job certainly can't lay claim to being better than any other quarterback in the league.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. You're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness. That's
he's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in,
right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquil Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. And you can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as always. And what a glorious day to wake up here in the greatest city on the planet, New York City, only a few hours after my guaranteed LOCK in the USA. My Yankees were not going to go quietly into the good night last night. No, sir. They have forced a game-breaking, series-breaking, historical moment tonight. Game 3, Elimination Thursday in the Bronx against the Boston Red Sox. La, 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 la.
I don't understand this at all.
This is why we love sports. This is why sports captivates us. This is why we divorce ourselves from our families, our wives, our children, and anything else important in life, because when your favorite team, when your local team has a do-or-die moment in the postseason, it takes over all rational thought, and it makes you feel like you belong to something greater than yourself. I'm rocking the pinstripe. I'm rocking the interlocking NY, because tonight's what it's all about. Game 3, Yankees-Red Sox. Winner advances, loser goes home. We got a rookie pitcher. They got a rookie pitcher, which makes no sense at all, considering these two franchises and the amount of money they spend on their rosters. But who the hell cares? It's on tonight. And what a great day of sports we have, by the way, because at noon Eastern time, we got my New York Knickerbockers out there in Abu Dhabi. I think the game's in Dubai. One of the, I don't know which country. They all kind of meld together to me. Against your Philadelphia 76ers.
That's right.
Sixers just got eliminated from the playoffs, and they haven't even tipped off yet.
No,
that starts in less than an hour.
No, it's hating.
And then last night, of course, you have 3 of the 4 games.
Yeah.
The loser of game 1 won game 2.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 elimination games today. You've got Tigers Guardians at 3 o'clock. You've got Padres at Cubbies at 5 o'clock. And then the only one that really matters, Yankees Red Sox. It's funny to me today, Tyrone. Yeah. After the game 1 loss, in which the Yankees only scored the 1 run, and lost 3-1, and there's some questions about the lineup and questions about who came in relief and all that nonsense. And half of New York City is like, we hate Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone's the worst manager of baseball. Fire Aaron Boone. I listened to Sports Talk Radio in New York on my drive in today. To be honest, I was a little bored by it.
Little bit.
And it's funny to me. I didn't hear Aaron Boone's name mentioned once.
Not once.
I didn't hear a single person say, hey, great job bringing Cruz in there with 2 men on and nobody out.
It was a great move.
In the 7th inning.
Huge.
And Cruz gets out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anybody say, nice job going back to Devin Williams there in the 8th inning. Yeah. And he gets that big double play ball and no harm done in the 8th inning. And then, of course, Bednard, who's been their closer over the last few months, comes in, does a good job, pop, pop, pop. And the Yankees advance. And look, the Yankees didn't play great. Defensively, they were great, I thought. Especially Jazz Chisholm at second base.
Absolutely.
And obviously the Red Sox drop a ball in left field on the Judge line drive. And then Eaton doesn't score when Jazz throws a one-hopper over to first.
Unbelievable.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But that's what happens to good teams. Good teams get the breaks. And while the Yankees did not get the breaks in Game 1, with their backs against the wall, they fought out. Kind of like if you ever trap a raccoon, and I've had to do that because raccoons like to eat my chickens. If you ever trap a raccoon and they get their backs up against the fight, they fight out. They're scrapping. They come at you like a little MMA style sometimes, a little Tyson sometimes. The New York Yankees last night were like a trapped raccoon in the corner fighting his way out. They didn't blow anybody out. It was small ball. I know Ben Rice has the home run, but it was piecing together a run and a run here and a run there. And then game on the line, they get the run and the bullpen shuts them down. And I tell you what, right now, let's just be honest about this. Take all fandom out of it because, to be fair, I'm a fake Yankee fan. I am playing the role of a Yankee fan, and I started that back in 2009 because the Yankees were playing the Phillies in the World Series, and I was not going to root for the Phillies, so I became a de facto Yankee fan. Then I sold bracelets for charity, which said, similar to what would Jesus do, what would the Yankees do? They sold out in about a minute. So I became somehow, some way, invested and a part of the Yankee community and the Yankee fans and the Yankee family, and I'm beloved for it. Let's just call it the way it is. I happen to be beloved for my fake Yankee fan, okay?
Uh-huh.
Would you rather be today? And this is the only question that matters because we've got all these hours to kill before 8 o'clock tonight. So by my account, that's like 42 hours, okay?
Sure.
So would you rather be, and this is a fair, most objective question I'm going to ask. I have an answer, but I will allow you to go first, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Today, would you rather be the Yankees going into this game tonight or the Red Sox going into this one game tonight only? Which franchise would you rather be today?
There's no doubt that tonight, and only tonight, you'd rather be the Yankees because they're at home.
Skippy.
They're at home.
It's not just because they're at home.
No, that's the only reason.
They are at home, all right?
The only reason.
You know full well they're going to keep the same lineup as yesterday. That's my gut on it, right? Because that lineup's got some power and some stick, and Aaron Judge, while he's hit a couple singles in this series, has not gone yard yet, and at some point he has to, okay? Which we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. But you have an unproven, untested rookie for the Boston Red Sox who basically he is making his postseason debut, not in just any stadium, not just in any city, but in Yankee Stadium in New York City with 47,000 raucous fans in the stadium. As you may have heard, the Yankees are not allowing any ticket sales to a Massachusetts driver's license, which frankly, I'll just say this real quick about that. It's beneath the Yankees to do that, but I love it. I love every part of it. You want to play? Come out and play, because we ain't going to let you buy tickets if you buy them on the normal secondary market and you got a Massachusetts license, a driver's license. We don't want you in our building. But you have a rookie. Imagine the pressure that's on a rookie pitcher to come into Yankee Stadium in a do-or-die, loser-goes-home game and have to make that your first ever postseason appearance. It's too much.
It's a lot.
It's too much.
It's a lot, but
nobody could handle that in the history of baseball.
This kid
no one's going to handle that.
Connolly early. It's going to get late early for you guys.
Is that right?
Connolly early.
Yeah.
The tough lefty mowing the Yankees down later.
I know that's what you want.
That's what I want.
I know know it's what you want.
Connolly early.
2 minutes ago, you said you'd rather be the Yankees.
Of course you'd rather
than
be.
the Red
They're a home
Sox.
team, and last out really matters. I think that really matters in baseball.
Now,
it's proven that really
there
matters.
has been a thing in Yankee world, I'll just say this to be fair about it, where in postseason games, when the Yankees go up against a pitcher they've not seen before or seen frequently, historically, the Yankee bats go to sleep. Historically,
And he's a
that
lefty.
happens.
And he's a lefty.
And he's a lefty, which means we're still gonna have our lefties in the lineup tonight because you have to.
You have to.
There's no way Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman go back to the game one lineup because you've got a lefty on the mound. Who the hell cares what's on the mound? He's a rookie pitcher who's gonna be nervous. I take. Last night they were first ball hitting. The Red Sox were the ones that were taking because they were trying to get Rodon out of the game to get to that Yankee bullpen. So if you notice, very different philosophy. The Yankees were first pitch swinging damn near every time they could through 3 or 4 of the Red Sox pitchers, right? And the Red Sox were holding off on everything because they were trying to get the pitch count up on Rodon because they're not afraid of the Yankee bullpen. To be fair, they shouldn't be. But it's do or die. Loser goes home. Winner goes out to play the Toronto Blue Jays in the second round. And it's in my building with my people against an unproven, untested rookie pitcher in Boston with no experience at all. I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm not going to lock it. We did that yesterday, and our lock, as always, 484-1 now historically, over 34 years. But I don't do that all the time. I just knew yesterday was going to go down the way it did.
Now, let me ask you, you've been mentioning a rookie. Don't the Yankees also have a rookie on the mound?
It's a different type of rookie.
But are you a little concerned?
Not at all, and here's why. Because the dude pitching for the Yankees, his name is like Schfinkter or something.
I'm uncomfortable saying his name because I think I'll curse.
It's a tough name because it sounds like you're cursing.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're also referencing Hitler. It's a tough
name.
I think it's Schitler.
Yeah.
Is it not? That's a tough name to go through life with.
Tough name.
We got more baseball coming up. We got some football, and we got the Shadur apologists wreaking their ugly heads yesterday. We're going to talk right after that.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
60,000 drunk New Yorkers who were there from 5 in the morning to 7 p.m., who dropped a house mortgage on a ticket to watch the United States team miss every putt that they can possibly miss, and you think someone's not going to get pissed off and curse people out? Wah! The golf fan wasn't civil. Wah!
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
$341 million of payroll. Best record in Major League Baseball through June 12th. 5th worst record after that. They would have made the playoffs, as this tweet says, because why? They just needed a win on Sunday versus Miami, and they couldn't beat the Marlins who have like a $50 million payroll. The Metropolitans are out, but hey guys, did you see Juan Soto's great season?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Not betting wise, action wise. Like I got to watch this game at 12.
I want to see Notre Dame, Arkansas. I want to see.
He's in, people. He's in.
I'll tell you another game.
Dame.
It's under. I want to see Duke and Syracuse at 12:45.
Nobody wants to see that game.
Stop.
I mean, there's people that we know that would like that game, but we don't want to watch that game. You know what I mean? We're not watching any of that game.
Ricky Collins?
Big
Collins?
game Saturday, Joe.
Okay,
I need your focus back for this. It's the SEC. It just means more.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. It's just a different mood, obviously, when you have a local team that's successful in the playoffs. So tons of Yankee stuff coming up throughout the day. I want to give the Phillies a little bit of love if I can. I know the guys downstairs are not ready for me to do this, but because I'm all Yankee, I know that might turn off some of the audience because not everyone's a Yankee fan or a New Yorker. Philly did something yesterday that I don't think there's another town in America that does it, quite honestly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know, Philly's waiting till the weekend to get their NLDS started because they got a first-round bye, right? So they did something, which I think is really, really smart, by the way, because you're going to go a full week, essentially, without playing a real baseball game. They had an intra-squad scrimmage.
Yeah.
And they decided they were trying to figure out how can we make this feel to the players like it's a regular game.
Yeah.
And what they did was they opened up 31,000 seats to the Philadelphia Phillies fan. And it was a ticket you had to buy to go, but all good.
$10.
Yeah, it's $10 across the board.
First come.
And you'll get a ticket, go sit where you want kind of thing. And this, to me, for all the nonsense I talk about Philadelphia, it's a great sports town. It's a great sports town, all right? It's Eagles all the time, but it is a great sports town. Would you know that in the middle of the week, for an intra-squad scrimmage, a game, it's not even a real game, 31,000 people bought tickets. Can you guys show it to everyone? 31,000 people showed up in Philadelphia.
And it's got audio too.
All right?
Cool. Yeah,
so play this. Good, guys. Check this out. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
I just find that to be awesome.
It's fun.
Like, for all the negativity that Philadelphia endures, and a lot of it's self-inflicted, to be fair, right? But a lot of it's not. A lot of it's just they're misunderstood. They're animals. You know you're animals. But sometimes you're misunderstood animals. For 31,000 people to show up on a weeknight. All right, now I know a lot of people don't have school today because of the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur. Maybe that's why they did it yesterday. I don't know. Of course, that's probably offensive to their Jewish fans who couldn't go last night. I'm sure that's a storyline somewhere. I also know that they didn't mean it by any disrespect. They're just getting ready for an attempt to get to a World Series and win it. But that's awesome. I just wonder who won the game, and the Philly fans went home mad. People were betting on it, and you know there's a handful of Phillies fans that went home pissed.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt.
Trey Turner's back from the hamstring. What's he going on for 4-4? What's going on out there?
But I got to tell you, I think that's awesome. Like, we need more of that. And for all the negative stuff, myself included, that we put out there about Philadelphia as a sports town and the unforgiving nature of being a Philadelphia. And look, and you guys know, I did sports talk radio in Philly from 93 to 97, and then again a few years later. So I have a really good handle on the Philadelphia sports fan. And frankly, I was beloved in Philadelphia as well, much like I am here in New York City.
Not as much now.
Not as much.
Not as much now.
That's right, now. When Ray Rhodes was the head coach of the Eagles, people loved me.
That's right.
Back in the day. But I just think that's awesome, man. And that's what sports does. For all the negativity out there, all the stuff, people bickering back and forth, and Republicans and Democrats and all the other stuff that's going on, that video right there, to me, is pure. And it's perfect. And shocking that of all the towns to do it, it's the one that we attack the most, Philadelphia. Because I don't know if the Yankees or Mets, I'd like to think they would have, but I can't guarantee it, that if either one of those teams, or if the Dodgers did it, or the Cubs did it, I'd like to think those fans would show up, and maybe they would.
Yeah.
But Philly did it. I'd say anybody else doing it.
Right, they did it big, and they did it in a big way.
And people showed up, and they had the whole thing, the Jumbotron going, the music going.
Yeah, concessions, they treated it like a game.
So anyway, I just saw a really good job by Philly. I'm being told that the Seattle Mariners did it as well.
Credit to them.
And only 19 people came, which is really crazy. And I think even Ichiro made an appearance there and even played right field for half an inning.
See, that's cute.
But that's fake.
And that's fake because he's not playing this weekend.
Right. Like, to me, that's getting too cute. That's like, why not just have an all-star softball game and bring back Derek Jeter?
Right.
Right? Or for you guys, oh, hey, guess what? Guess what? Oh, Dave Hollins is playing third base.
That's a good pull.
Right.
Mickey Morandini.
Yeah.
Charlie Hayes played for both the Phillies and the Yankees.
Exactly. Oh, guess what? John Krug's DHing today. Dalton's dead. My bad. But, hey, guess what? Tug McGraw and Mike Schmidt are going to be out there taking
Rest in
hacks,
peace,
right?
Tug.
Oh, he dead too?
Tug, yeah. Rest in peace.
You know, there is a story in Philly. I know it's serious for a second. Lenny Dykstra's a buddy of mine. He's kind of alive. He's not really all alive. He has moments where he kind of feels like he's not alive.
Yeah.
But did you know in Philadelphia, not to go off this tangent, I apologize, but the turf at Old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia apparently had some type of carcinogen in whether it's the rubber, the fake grass, whatever it is. This is a serious thing just for a second.
It's not a joke.
And guys that played and obviously were at Veterans Stadium for, all that time throughout their careers are all coming down with cancer.
Brain
cancer. I didn't say all of them, obviously. But
brain
an
cancer
inordinate amount.
specifically, including the late Darren Dalton, for example.
Because there was a point where Darren Dalton, the famous catcher, then ultimately first baseman, Phillies and Marlins, and he won a World Series with the Marlins, as you know. And obviously, 1993, 93 was the year they went and played the Blue Jays with Joe Carter home run. People thought Dalton went crazy.
Yes.
Because he was talking about all this Mayan numerology stuff and how they're coming to get us. And there are people that still believe the world's coming to an end based on a certain date.
Yep.
Well, Dalton was one of those guys. And then afterwards, he unfortunately has cancer, brain cancer, and he passes away. And then people were like, well, was that craziness because of the cancer?
Yeah, the tumor.
But what's crazy about Philadelphia, and this story's not talked about enough, in my opinion, because a lot of stadiums were built the same exact way back then in the 80s. Whatever they used to put the turf in and maintain the turf there caused cancer. And an inordinate amount of former Philadelphia Phillies players and
third base
and
coach John
employees
Vukovich also passed away from brain cancer.
All came down with this very specific type of uncurable, untreatable cancer.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Which is, to me, that's just crazy town. But anyway, I don't know how to get off of that tangent. You're to blame for that. But good job by Philly.
Okay, I'll accept it. It's my bad. It's my bad. I brought it up.
All right, listen, much more on the baseball later on. But this Shedeur stuff has to come to an end. We'll get into it. We'll both give you a take on it because the apologists are out there. And for the life of me, I've done this for a very long time, 34 years now in my career, my Hall of Fame career. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've never seen people so vested in a third-string quarterback playing. I've never seen it. We'll discuss why after this.
That team are going to stretch them over the top, but I still think it's blue-collar football, Big Ten style. That's where USC has struggled. I do not think Lincoln Riley, I'm sorry, is a good head coach. He's a great quarterback whisperer. He coaches from an offensive coordinator position, doesn't make halftime adjustments, and that's where I give the edge to Bielema. I don't like this game, but I would take the points with Illinois.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
There were some reports earlier this week that Russell Wilson may be sought after somewhat during the trade deadline. A lot of people have been talking about Jameis shipping him to the Bengals as they just need a quarterback to throw the ball. I think they need to move Russell Wilson out. Even though he says he does not want to be moved, you got to get back an asset if you can.
Oh, you do. Does he go to a team like the Saints? Where does he go?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
It's time to sell high. Let's sell high now, Joe. Give me some sneaky sneakies. What do you got?
Yeah, it's Matt's favorite way to sell. Everybody knows that. All right, let's talk about David Montgomery. Look, Montgomery had a big total last week, but really most of it was on one big run. I still feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy here as you continue to move forward with Detroit. I'm not saying you have to get rid of him for nothing.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
60,000 drunk New Yorkers who were there from 5 in the morning to 7 p.m., who dropped a house mortgage on a ticket to watch the United States team miss every putt that they can possibly miss, and you think someone's not going to get pissed off and curse people out? Wah! The golf fan wasn't civil. Wah!
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. So, Shedeur Sanders in the news again. Only third-string quarterback we have ever talked about in the history of football. And that's more because of his dad and people's relationship in the media with his dad, who curry favor to his dad, who don't want to be known as the guy that went against Deion Sanders because, there's like some scary aspect of Deion that if you go against him, he's going to get you, which I've never seen or heard before, but it's got to be something along those lines. So Shedeur Sanders is passed over by Dillon Gabriel to start this week's game in London against the Minnesota Vikings. Well, he should have been passed over. Number one, Dillon Gabriel was drafted ahead of him. Number two, depth chart-wise, you could argue and yell till till the cows come home. They have a depth chart. They were honest to their depth chart, right? Dillon Gabriel was second. Shedeur Sanders is third. So when reporters went to talk to Shedeur Sanders about not being chosen to start this game, which he shouldn't have been because he was lower on the depth chart than Dillon Gabriel, he decided to be a clown. I'll show you the video. He decides to mime his answers to the assembled media in Cleveland. Just check out a quick snippet of this. Go ahead.
Third quarterback. Vocally.
And he thinks he's funny. And it's me. He don't have laryngitis. He just decides no matter what I say, they're going to twist my words and they're going to make a scandal out of it. I'm not sure what words of his we ever twisted as the collective media. Now, there are two types of media people in this, for my money. There's people that see this objectively, and then there's people that essentially want to be on the Sanders payroll.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people, he's being disrespected. He should be elevated to the number 2 quarterback. So if Gabriel can't play, they go to him. Cleveland's ruining his career. They've got an agenda against him. Folks, NFL teams don't draft players with an agenda against them playing. It just doesn't make sense. So if you want to be on the Deion Sanders payroll, just be honest about it. If you want to curry favor to Deion, because maybe one day he'll bless you with an interview, just be honest about it. The Cleveland Browns know a lot more about Shedeur Sanders' ability than any of us do because they watch him every day. He also chooses on some days not to even practice with the team, but to go to a local high school and practice at a local high school field with cameras, of course, always following him because he wants people to know that he's never not working out or practicing. You have a choice, an NFL facility or a high school facility. He's choosing a high school facility, but again, with cameras always rolling. Here's the other thing. He had an opportunity at the end of the preseason to get considerable playing time. I believe it was against the Rams. Now, again, none of the starters are playing, but it's an opportunity to shine because it's your third stringers against their third stringers, right?
Yeah.
There might have been a couple second stringers on both sides in the mix. I don't have the exact personnel in front of me. And what happened in that game? He performed poorly. He looked completely overwhelmed by the speed of an NFL game, even against third stringers. So the Browns, seeing that, made a decision. You're on our roster. We're going to try to develop you into a legitimate NFL caliber quarterback. But for now, your best bet is to sit on the sideline and watch and learn. But this is a kid that's been coddled his whole life. This is a kid that has only played for his father, right? And I get that. I would want to play for my dad if he was the head coach, and I'd want my son to play for me.
Of course.
If I was the head coach. So I have no issue with that part of it all. But he's been coddled his entire playing career by his dad, by yes men. Well, now you live in a world with grown men who don't quite care who your daddy is. And you can either act like a professional or you can act like a clown. And for a third string quarterback to do that, and to be fair, the media's not running to any other third string quarterback if they're not, elevated on the depth chart, and I respect that part of this too. But that shows me you're not serious. You're not a professional. You're a clown. And the problem with Shedeur Sanders and many kids of his generation, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again, it's style over substance. Go out there and be a football player. If you want to be a streamer, well, then go do that. The kid's had a camera held by his own brother in his hands since he graduated high school. They document everything. They put everything out there for America to digest and download. And they're really good at it. So make a decision. If you want to be the clown prince of the NFL, you're well on your way to the Hall of Fame. If you instead, though, would like to be a well-thought-of NFL quarterback, then start acting like one. And for everyone else that does what Tyrone and I do here, members of the media who comment on this, for any one of you that thinks Shedeur is being screwed by the Cleveland Browns, you've embarrassed yourselves. And that's all this is. Stop currying favor to a kid that can't play just yet because you want to get in good with his dad. It's embarrassing. But I'm not one of them guys, and we got much more good stuff coming up right after this.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Mike Trout, will he ask for a trade? And maybe I'm a bit of a Neanderthal for asking this, and people are going to say, listen, he's never leaving. I refuse to accept that, and we're just not going to get Mike Trout postseason baseball ever again. Because clearly when healthy, he can still do it. But he's also rarely healthy and still kind of expensive. It's complicated.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Course setup, Bethpage, and how soft the greens were, how long it played. It definitely was an advantage for Europe from my mind, and they putted better.
Well, but do you think, in a weird way, that same setup is what allows the Americans to get back in it today? Because you do see a lot of those big putts made.
Yeah.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson here as well. One last thought on Shedeur. It was just on my mind during the quick break there. Because the one thing all teams try to avoid in the NFL in every sport is that one dude who's a distraction, who's not worth the distraction. I'll give you an example. A.J. Brown is a distraction somewhat in Philadelphia because after a second half in which the Eagles did not complete a single pass and another game in which he appears to not be a part of the offensive game plan. I'm sure he is, but certainly when you watch the Eagles play football this year, it comes across like he's an afterthought. Other than that one game where in the second half, he's the reason they won the game, right? So he's one of the great, in my opinion, wide receivers in the sport. So a guy like that is worth the distraction.
Right.
All right. He put out a tweet right after the Eagles beat Tampa to go to 4-0 this year. I'll put the tweet up there on the board for you.
Yeah.
And he says in the tweet, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Which a lot of people are viewing as him kind of saying to the world, I want out of Philadelphia.
Right.
Now, to his credit, he came out yesterday to press conference, took full accountability and ownership for it, said, look, I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
And I should be frustrated because I think we've got a badass offense and we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And part of that frustration, which I completely understand, is the fact that I'm great at what I do. I'm a top 5 wide receiver in the sport. How come I've only got 14 catches, right? And he's right about that. Now, it shouldn't all revolve around him. It should be more important to him that the team is 4-0. And my gut is it probably is. But everybody wants to contribute. And when you are ultimately judged by how you perform against the other greats at your position and your stats are nowhere near theirs because they don't throw you the football, that would be frustrating.
Of course.
I'm not a decoy. I don't want to run up and down this field for 3 hours and never get the ball. Yeah. I remember James Jones, the former Packers wide receiver, who's my colleague at Fox, used to say to me all the time, that if he didn't get a couple looks in the first quarter, mentally, he was done for the game.
Yeah.
Because screw you. Why am I busting my ass out here and you never even look my way? And that was with both Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, 2 Hall of Famers, right? Jalen's on his way, but he ain't a Hall of Famer yet. But my point of this is, A.J. Brown is worth a little distraction on a Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Because he's that damn good.
Right.
All right? And he's a mature adult who took ownership of a silly, emotional tweet right after the game. And while I don't believe everything he said yesterday when he goes, I wasn't talking about my coach or my quarterback.
Yes,
no, you were.
Yes, you
That's
were.
exactly who you're talking about. Because the coach puts it in the game plan, and the quarterback is the only guy that decides whether or not you get the target or the ball.
Right.
So we know who you're talking about. We understand why you're talking about it. And because we're 4-0, and because you're so damn good at what you do, we can accept it. We can tolerate it, right? Yeah. We can, as a franchise, we can also absorb it. And the comparison is, Shedeur Sanders isn't any of that. Shedeur Sanders is never going to step on the field for the Cleveland Browns this year.
No.
The idea is to develop him so that next year he can fight for possibly a starting job or maybe the backup job. And if you're Shedeur Sanders, you should probably think, at least in my opinion, if you had a little maturity in your body or your dad was giving you good advice, which I hope that he is, I would assume that he is, right? It would be, I also don't want to be the guy that becomes such a distraction in Cleveland that if Cleveland looks to cut me, no other team's going to want me. And I can guarantee you this, no other team is going to want a third-string quarterback who acts like an immature clown. It's not worth their time. It's not. If you have a guy who you could cut tomorrow with zero impact on your salary cap, which is what he is in Cleveland, don't think for a minute that teams are lining up to bring Shedeur in to be their starter. That's not going to happen. Or their backup quarterback. Now, I can tell you, just looking at rosters, there are teams that could use a bit of an upgrade at second string. Yeah. There are some teams that don't even have a third string quarterback on their active roster. But why would any of them think it's worth the investment in him specifically? Even if you think he's got the raw physical talents. Look, he's a great athlete, obviously, right? I know he can throw a football. I don't question that.
Threw for a lot of yards in college, for whatever
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I know his accuracy, which to me is one of the most overstated stats, considering he didn't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field all that often. But yes, he had a decent college career. Not a great one. He didn't win a bowl game. He wasn't in the tournament. He had a good college career, something I never had. So I'm respectful of that.
Yeah.
But if I'm another team that's like, oh, what's going on with Shedeur Sanders? Oh, Cleveland may not like him all that much. Maybe Cleveland cuts him because he's a pain in their ass. But then the question becomes, if you're a pain in the ass at a level that the Cleveland Browns cut you and say, peace out, what are you going to be for my franchise? Now, I've always thought the biggest mistake Shedeur and the Sanders family made when the Baltimore Ravens said, we want to draft you, that should have been an immediate yes.
And the Eagles.
When the Eagles came and said, we want to draft you, that should have been an immediate yes. And here's why. Those are solid franchises that going into the season had an expectation of winning a lot of football games, competent coaching, competent ownership, and a lot of talent, and a rock star starting quarterback. So no worry about who the backup is there. You're irrelevant unless he in drafting him. Guess what he would be doing this weekend?
He could be starting.
He would be the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens because they would have brought him in to be the backup to Lamar Jackson as opposed to Cooper Rush, right?
Right.
If he had gone to Philadelphia, if Jalen Hurts got hurt, and he's had some injuries in his career, guess who would have been the starting quarterback this weekend if Jalen was hurt? Shedeur Sanders. So because his ego or the family's ego wouldn't allow him to say yes to a situation where he had no chance to be the starting quarterback, he winds up in Cleveland and without knowing it had no chance to be the starter nor the backup. So if you're going to be a clown and you're going to mime, which is what he did. I ain't got no time for the mime. If you're going to mime your answers and be a douche knuckle, then every other team sees that. And every other team that thought, maybe if he gets cut, I would give some consideration. There he is right there, matter of fact, on the streets of Cleveland, doing what he does best, being a mime, because he ain't a good football player just yet in the NFL. So if I'm the 31 other teams that might be looking for a backup or a young quarterback that I could somehow, some way, develop into a legitimate NFL quarterback, but all I ever read about this kid is that he's a distraction and a pain in the ass, I now cross him off my list.
Why didn't he? Because honestly, there's nothing he could say. You can't pretend like you're happy to be third
How about
string.
you say this?
Why did he just say no comment?
No.
Why didn't he just say no comment?
Here's
why?
why.
There's no
comment.
comment.
You're not a team guy. You're the lowest level player on the Browns roster. So you be the media, I'll be Shadur Sanders. Ask me how I feel about
how do you
Dylan
feel
Gabriel
about
getting the
not
job.
only is Dylan Gabriel now the starter, you're still third string. How do you feel about that?
Listen, I'm just here to help the team out, and whatever Dylan needs, I got for him. And I hope we go over to London and Dylan plays his ass off, and we beat the Minnesota Vikings. Any other questions?
Yes. So you're not anxious to play football.
Of course I want to play football. Right now, the best way for me to help the team is being the scout team quarterback. I take that responsibility seriously, and whatever the franchise needs, I got it.
Does it bother you that you'll be inactive again? You've yet to dress for a game this season.
I'm a competitor. Obviously, I want to play, but my time isn't up right now, and my sole focus is on helping Dylan Gabriel go out there and lead us to a win. It ain't hard, man. This is easy stuff, and you grew up in a family with a dad who knows all this stuff.
Well, his dad always was playing.
But his dad was also right. His dad's one of the great athletes we've ever seen, but he knows how to deal with the media.
Yeah.
He was in the media for 25 years. These answers are simple.
He actually did well.
But Shadur Sanders' self-worth is so high and his ego is so out of control, he cannot help himself from being a clown and a distraction. And trust me, I lived in Cleveland for a year. I had season tickets in the dog pound. That is one of the worst franchises in the history of professional franchises. And if you can't figure it out there, I don't want you here. And there's a lot of teams that don't have great backup quarterbacks. And half the teams in the league don't even have third-string quarterbacks on their active roster. And I'm telling you right now, after yesterday, not a single one of those teams would sign Shadur Sanders if he was cut today by the Cleveland Browns. But I can't worry about that. The Yankees have an elimination game today. We got more baseball coming up and some hoops right after this.
Ashton Genty, between yards and yards before contact and yards after contact, all these sorts of... They're giving him nothing. He is getting hit constantly behind the line of scrimmage, multiple yards behind the line of scrimmage, and frankly, at this point, I think he's essentially out of the race, and this is partly due to Emeka Buka having a great year, Tyler Warren putting up big numbers, Ted McMillan, I think, is maybe the most talented player overall in the rookie class.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The leader right now in the clubhouse in the odds market is Fernando Mendoza. College football purists, yep, absolutely know that guy. Fantastic. He's a great quarterback. Non-purists who are tuning in just for the biggest games, who is this guy, Joe, and how did he get here?
He came from Cal. He's a mobile kid. He's big. He's about 6'3", about 220. He's a gutty kid and had a great performance for Kirk Cignetti.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
We're in a weird place with Trevor Lawrence. This was another one of these quote-unquote can't-miss generational quarterback prospects, right? Everybody was salivating over when he was a freshman winning national championships. And here we are, about 5 years later, looking at ourselves going, is it just time for Trevor Lawrence to get a change of venue or something? Like, what's got to give here? Hopefully this Liam Cohen offense starts to come together.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Americans got to find answers in these partnerships, and I think they need to look at their who's making these decisions from a stat standpoint.
Well, it's so funny to me, especially coming off of the Walker Cup just a few weeks before, how it just seems like there's this glaring chasm between American partnered match play and American individual, singles match play.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. By the way, we're 15 minutes away from the first preseason NBA game. It's over in the Middle East. Abu Dhabi is where the teams have been practicing, and they got a game starting in about 15 minutes. It's Knicks Sixers, and while we're a ways away from really getting into the nitty-gritty of basketball, it is a reminder for many of you out there, as you see a picture of the guys out of the court, again, out in the Middle East.
They've had a ball, it looks like. They've had a lot of fun, it looks like. Yeah,
everything's covered by the Sheik, by the royal family of Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
I know they're doing some basketball in Macau coming up as well, because our pal Timmy Hardaway Sr. is going to be out there as a rep of the NBA.
Oh, that's cool.
An ambassador, so looking forward to those games as well. That's me, by the way, on my way out there after the show today. To go watch some Knickerbocker basketball. I'm all about it, too. I am all about it. Actually, my cousins are in Abu Dhabi. They live there.
Oh, wow.
And they're out there courtside getting autographs from Jalen Brunson and,
that's cool.
and Bridges and some of the guys. It's a pretty cool scene out there.
Yeah.
But here's the reality, and it's just something that I think needs to be mentioned, especially with you in the building as a Sixers fan. This is our year because no Jason Tatum in Boston. We know that. Check that little box. Pop, 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 right? Or let me make this easy for him to cut up. No Jason Tatum in Boston. Check.
There you go. That's part one of the video.
Right. We got no Halliburton in Indiana. Check.
That's part two.
Milwaukee's a complete mess, right? Check. So the only team I could possibly see competing or challenging the New York Knicks for Eastern Conference supremacy would be the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Cavs were a big no-show in the playoffs last year, as you know.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
They were.
They were. And they're not a team anybody trusts in a big spot. And the Knicks have owned them historically in the postseason. So when you put the West aside for a second.
Yeah.
All right? In the Eastern Conference, I'll tell you this right now. There is no better basketball team on paper than the New York Knickerbockers. They are the best team in the East, which is why they are favorited to come out of the East.
No.
In my book, they are.
They are not.
They are the favorites to come out of the East.
Favorites in the East, factually,
Go ahead.
are the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Look, I love Kenny Atkinson, one of my favorite coaches in all basketball. I thought Brooklyn never should have fired him. He got ousted by some veterans.
I agree with that.
Harden and Durant, all that stuff. The Cleveland Cavaliers should never be the number one seed because they don't have the DNA to ever win.
Hold on.
It's Knicks won.
The Knicks have winning DNA where?
I didn't say that.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it.
Jalen Brunson won a college title. Josh Hart won a college title. Mikal Bridges won a college title. There's some winning DNA in those bloodstreams of them three guys.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this. I'm so excited for this basketball season because for the first time in my lifetime, all right, and I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I like the Knicks more than any other team that I root for, okay? This is the Knicks' best chance to win an NBA title. Because even in the Patrick Ewing era of the Knicks, we always had to go up against Michael Jordan.
Yes.
It was always, can you beat the Jordan Bulls? And we gave it a good run. All right, and yes, the Knicks did go to 2 NBA Finals against the Spurs and the Rockets. This team's better. This is our best shot because I can tell you unequivocally the New York Knicks are the most talented team in the East. Now, I'm not telling you they're better than the Thunder. I'm not crazy. I think the Houston Rockets are going to be a damn good basketball, this team, with a both connection of youth and adding Kevin Durant. The Lakers are going to stink. That makes me happy.
Nuggets are
the Nuggets are the Nuggets because you got arguably the best player in basketball in Jokic, right?
Timberwolves are a team to watch.
Timberwolves, great young team. That all comes down to Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards. But let's not focus on them for a second.
All right, the Knicks.
The pending NBA champions start their quest for their first title since 1973, today in the desert of the Middle East, where it all began for all of us.
Yes, it did. That part is factually
That's where Moses
accurate.
was. That's where Jesus was.
That's where everybody was.
That's where the apostles were.
Everybody was there.
It all started out there, and then it came this way. And I can't wait for the New York Knicks to take the same path to greatness as our elders did. I am all excited for it. It's a Knick world. It's a 60-win team guaranteed. There's nobody in the East that's going to be good enough to beat them in a 7-game series. And we're going to see the first week in June the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals against either the Thunder, the Rockets, the Nuggets. Who knows who's going to be? I don't know who's going to be.
Now, are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
So are you sure enough to make it a lock?
Well, I do my NBA locks right before the
season.
opening tip of the regular season.
So in maybe 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, I will make that prediction. I can guarantee you it's not going to waver or change unless Jalen Brunson slips on a camel toe.
No, he's going to be.
Has happened to many of us in the past.
That's tough to slip on.
Huh?
Why is he standing on it? He's going to slip in. But anyway, moving past that, what about the fact if the Sixers are healthy?
The Sixers are never healthy.
But if they're healthy.
All right, I'll tell you this. If the Sixers somehow, if somebody waves a magic wand and guarantees the Sixers health throughout the entire season for all their players, they just lost McCain again
with the thumb.
To a thumb.
Torn ligament.
Torn ligaments in the thumb.
Yep.
That would mean that Paul George plays, let's just say, 70 games.
Embiid's in great shape. He's in great shape. Look at him. Look how good he looks. He looks great.
He looks
way better than
fantastic.
Towns.
Yeah. That's such a rare photo of him standing. But I'll play your game with you.
Yes.
If somehow, some way, the Sixers had complete health, and it was ordained that they would not suffer any more catastrophic injuries to the important guys on that roster, right?
Yeah.
Like Maxey and Embiid and McCain, and Paul George.
Has come the rookie.
Then I would tell you that the Philadelphia 76ers on my power rankings would be number 2 behind the Knicks.
Okay.
I would put them right there, and that would be a team, and I'll say this, that I would be afraid of in a 7-game series.
Yeah, because
that would concern me if they were totally healthy. They would have the right guys at every position to counter what the Knicks have.
But they're never healthy.
Here's the reality.
They're never healthy.
I also play the lottery when it gets to $1 billion,
right.
And I've never won.
Right.
And I have the same odds of winning the lottery as the Sixers do of all those guys being healthy.
I can't argue. I would love to argue with that. I cannot argue with that.
And look, and that's just, they'll have more money sitting on the bench than any team in the history of basketball. Night in and night out, just between Embiid and George.
That's a lot of
right?
2 max contracts.
And I love Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
I love watching him play. He's got one of the great, enjoyable games to watch at the NBA level. McCain, we've never seen because he was hurt so early last year. Seems like a good kid who can play.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen him at the NBA level enough to know that. But just get used to it. I'm so pumped. What a great day. We got Knicks, Sixers at noon. We got Tigers, Guardians at 3, Padres, Cubs at 5, and then the coup de grace of them all, Yankees, Red Sox at 8 o'clock. What a great day to be alive. And a lot of you aren't working today, or you're doing it going to school. Enjoy it with us throughout the entire day on SportsGrid, too.
That team are going to stretch them over the top, but I still think it's blue-collar football, Big Ten style. That's where USC has struggled. I do not think Lincoln Riley, I'm sorry, is a good head coach. He's a great quarterback whisperer. He coaches from an offensive coordinator position, doesn't make halftime adjustments, and that's where I give the edge to Bielema. I don't like this game, but I would take the points with Illinois.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
There were some reports earlier this week that Russell Wilson may be sought after somewhat on during the trade deadline. A lot of people have been talking about Jameis shipping him to the Bengals as they just need a quarterback to throw the ball. I think they need to move Russell Wilson out. Even though he says he does not want to be moved, you got to get back an asset if you can.
Oh, you do. Does he go to a team like the Saints? Where does he go?
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
It's time to sell high. Let's sell high now, Joe. Give me some sneaky sneakies. What do you got?
Yeah, it's Matt's favorite way to sell. Everybody knows that. All right, let's talk about David Montgomery. Look, Montgomery had a big total last week, but really most of it was on one big run. I still feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy here as you continue to move forward with Detroit. I'm not saying you have to get rid of him for nothing.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
60,000 drunk New Yorkers who were there from 5 in the morning to 7 p.m., who dropped a house mortgage on a ticket to watch the United States team miss every putt that they can possibly miss, and you think someone's not going to get pissed off and curse people out? Wah! The golf fan wasn't civil. Wah!
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. A few minutes left here, the Craig Carton Show. Don't forget, we're a podcast now, so, Apple, Spotify, download it. We have exclusive podcast content coming up in about a week's time, so another reason to subscribe and to tell your friends. I appreciate you watching us on SportsGrid Live, and then later today, of course, on YouTube, and then a rerun on SportsGrid at 5 o'clock again if you missed any part of the show. A couple news and notes for you. With an acknowledgement, we do have a game tonight, San Fran against the Rams, which should be a great game. But, half of the San Francisco 49er roster seems like it's in a mash unit right now. And no Brock Purdy, which will be interesting tonight because they're 2-0 with Mac Jones starting.
Yeah.
And he has not played great in those games, but they won both games. And Brock Purdy, I know they're making excuses that a couple balls got tipped. Brock Purdy was terrible last week, and I'm the biggest Brock Purdy guy that exists.
I don't think he was healthy. I don't think he was
and
healthy.
Maybe he wasn't. The toe's a problem, the turf toe, which is why he's out for this game against the Rams. This becomes a very tough game for San Francisco because the Rams are damn good.
Yeah, they're really good. And the line moved, just to give people an idea, it opened at 3. Rams -3. It's Rams now -7.5.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams should beat them by double digits because you're going up against backups.
Yeah.
And the Niners, like last year, once again, dealing with crazy injuries. They did get off to the quick start, so they've got a little wiggle room in tolerating a couple losses. But this is a divisional game. So this is the kind of game that can cost you a division. I wouldn't make a pick on this game. I think the only side to take would be the Rams.
Yeah, I don't love it.
But if you tell me that San Fran's defense with Saleh coaching it, plays tough, okay, I can see that. But you're also going up against the best quarterback they've played against yet this year.
Absolutely. By a wide margin. Yeah.
A couple other news and notes for you. Jackson Dart making news. Not only did he troll Justin Herbert's girlfriend, Madison Beer, before beating the Chargers, he came out yesterday and said, unequivocally, we never landed on the moon. I'm with him, by the way.
Cut it out. We mean you're with them.
I saw an astronaut yesterday go, I guess they have some
that wasn't
trip
astronaut.
to the moon coming.
Yeah, that's not astronaut.
And he's like, yeah, we've never been there before. This would be awesome.
Yeah, that guy, see, he's in charge of space.
Yeah.
He's not an astronaut.
He's not an astronaut.
No, he's like an auto mechanic.
And I'm liking Jackson Dart more and more and more now.
I like that kid.
Like, this is the guy when Eli Manning said to him, if you ever need anything, call me. And I've been in your position before.
Right.
And the kid calls him up, and Eli thought he was going to talk football with him. And he's like, I need reservations for Port Charles, a hard restaurant to get into, or Fort Charles, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And Eli's like, you want to talk football? He goes, no,
I'm good.
Can you get me dinner reservations? And now he's talking about we never landed on the moon. So I love this kid.
He's a different kind of kid.
He's fantastic.
He could have went to Eli and say, hey, I'm having a little trouble with cover 2.
Yeah.
Dinner for 2.
Good, I'll just run through it. It's all good. And then last night proved once again why East Coast fans are better than West Coast fans.
Yeah.
And there is a rivalry. It's kind of like Tupac and Biggie because the Dodgers are up 8-2 in a playoff game that sends them to the NLDS.
Yes.
And watch this video. This is out there at Dodger Stadium. This is the home team winning a game in the 8th inning, and Dodger fans leaving the building, and not just a couple of them. It's like you can see it right there.
Like thousands.
It's like all of them are like, all right, this game's over. Let's beat traffic on the 405, right?
Yeah.
But like, tickets are expensive. The home team is winning. They're going to advance past the Reds.
A mini celebration's going to happen at the end.
There's going to be a celebration. Why wouldn't you want to enjoy that? Like, to me as a fan, and I'm notorious for leaving games early, regular season games. Like, I'm a 5th inning kid.
I can see that.
I am out the door early as possible. I'm gone.
You also are in the media.
Yeah, but I don't go as a media member. I go to luxury suites. I don't even like sitting with people. And by the 5th inning, I'm looking at my kids going, yo. So I go to the bathroom. And they're like, come on, Dad. Like, the game's not even half over. Let's go. But in a playoff game, you don't leave a playoff game early.
No, you don't leave. Of course not. But Dodgers fans do, and it just makes me question them. Are they all walking to Philadelphia to play Saturday? Maybe that's why they were getting a head start.
It's just that they show up late, they leave early, and they pay for the full ticket. But I saw that last night. I'm like, if you can't stay and enjoy a playoff win, maybe you're jaded. You won the World Series last year, so this is like same old, same old. Yeah. You blew the Reds out in both games. It wasn't very competitive late. You're like, I've had enough. I'm out. But, man, this is a playoff game. And you ain't got school or work today because of the Jewish holiday.
Right.
So take your time.
The other part, the game started like 5 o'clock local time.
Yes, that's another point.
So what are you doing? Our 6 o'clock local time.
Yeah.
It's not late.
That's why East Coast fans are better, which brings me back to how we started the show. Tonight is an elimination game between one of the greatest rivalries of franchises the sport has ever known, the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox. And just consider this as you get ready to move on with your day, and we appreciate you watching. One team's got an untested, unproven rookie who's going to have to pitch a good 5 or 6 innings on the road in the Bronx against the New York Yankees and the Pinstripes. The other guy's at home. He's got 3 times as many starts and innings pitched, and he's got an ERA under 3. Which team would you rather be? It's all Yankees all night tonight. And tomorrow we get ready for Yankees Blue Jays. Enjoy the day. Thank you for watching.